Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Asia PMO podcast, Transform Your Biz. This is Carsten Ley, and today I have an amazing, exciting speaker and fellow CXPA Asia leader, Dr. Kartina Sury. Hi, Kartina.
Hi, Carsten. Great to meet you again, although this time we need to meet virtually.
It was great to meet on the Jakarta CX conference directly.
I wish that we could do that more often and interact. Mostly not virtually, and to exchange thoughts. Thank you for having me in this podcast sessions. I'm very much excited to exchange ideas and thoughts with you.
If you can quickly introduce yourself, please.
Okay. So briefly about me, as Carsten introduced me, I'm actually part of his fellow colleagues in the CXPA Asia as part of the Asia Regional Council. I'm as well in charge as the senior fellow at one of the think tank organizations here in Indonesia, as well as some other roles that I have in the peer-to-peer lending business and the financial planning associations. So in brief, I have more than 2 decades kind of like experience in the financial services industry, mostly in life insurance, banking, as well as the fintech at the moment. So here I am, be a traditional marketing person. That's how I could say. Before then, more than a decade, I've been into the customer experience, innovations, and transformation as well. So that's probably a brief about me. And on top of that, I'm also a scholar. So I spend my times as well teaching students for subjects around communications and marketing. That's all, I think.
That's a lot all. Yeah, that's great. Amazing. Yeah. Let us speak about we are both have digital and banking background, I think, and we both know banking was not the fastest industry the last 10, 20 years to get in a very good customer experience, right? And in a service oriented rather than checking or hassling oriented customer experience, right? I'm not sure if they are still there, depends maybe on the bank. So what is your take? Why maybe fintech, banking or other industry, why customer experience is so crucial for business transformation for you?
I think the reason why I think customer experience is crucial is more to the fact that we need to come back to the origin. I think that we discussed a long time ago. We discussed when tech emerged and everything. We often read or we often like heard anyone like talking about how tech has advanced, like the way we interact, the way we communicate. So I think the reason why it is it's more to that point that we started off the discussions long time ago as part of the relationship marketing and theoretical basic, and as well as the fact that we know from the well-known Forrester study on the technology management and the competitive strategy. I think they also discuss about the age of customer. So this is the proven fact of how customer experience is more important to the discussions. And then I would also like to add that customer experience is also part of the discussions of the customer engagement, customer loyalty, and customer acquisition. So it encompasses every single items that we do in the business. So that's how we should formulate into our business innovations and transformation.
Yeah, we have, and that's right. I mean, we have seen a lot of business transformation mappings where they have 4, 5, 6, 7 pillars. And one of the pillars was customer experience. And maybe it's a misassumption that tech is the most important pillar, right? Because tech can be also very dangerous. I don't know how you see that with companies who always start with tech and making tech faster, more modern, maybe easier. How do you see that?
I think tech is not the key drivers of all. It's more about the slices between the tech and the tech, digital, and the customer itself. Like we cannot, like, based on the whole understanding that we have had from the age of customer, it is definitely the customer itself that has been adopting this kind of like tech environment, the changes that digital has made for them, the excitement that digital has enabled people to interact and to communicate. So I think the key drivers should still start from the customer. So I will still use my kind of like favorite notes from the past Steve Jobs, although it's a bit like old fashions, but I think it is very well put when he mentioned that it should come back to the customers, not starting from the technology.
And they were successful with that, right? I mean, Steve Jobs overtook me a little bit, because having a device in my hand with only one button in 2010, it was almost a little bit too fast for me as a customer, honestly speaking, right? I got used to it. I'm still more an Android guy, honestly speaking, but it was ingenious. I mean, it was very, very ingenious to facilitate and get rid of the 30 buttons I had on my BlackBerry before, right?
Yeah.
I was also very big on BlackBerry, as I remember.
Yeah.
That was a big shift, right? Yeah.
True.
Speaking about business cases and customer experience, right? I mean, we had a crazy customer experience training 1.5 years ago in Hanoi with one of the biggest state-owned telecommunications in Vietnam. And all these regional directors came in our customer experience training. They're like, what is that? Why do I need that? Right? Because the group did transformation and they thought it's a good thing to bring a trainer inside. And a state-owned company in Vietnam, they have their clients automatically, right? So a lot of things we were like, customer lifetime value, customer loyalty, didn't really fly for them, because like, hey, there are only 3 companies in Vietnam. They anyway have to come to us, right? Maybe in the future, the market opens and they get a big awakening. I don't know. What are your examples on transformation with customer experience?
Okay, I think I would like to highlight the key points when we discuss about this customer experience. For me, from the way we started, both sides, from the business perspective, from the scholar perspective, I then think that it is best to sort of like classify the stages into 2 sets of stages. That's how I define that. So the first stage was more into the discussions. We've seen the discussions, how, for example, what Apple was doing with the products, the products creations and innovations. So that was the stages that we had more towards the discussions around the projects, right? And then the other angle that I've also seen is the discussions or the shift from discussing the usual customer services into the discussions into more emphasis on the quality. So customer service quality, but plus some added value items or indicators that we created, which looks more closely to what we discuss as customer experience at the moment. So not so much into the customer experience kind of like quality, how to assess and everything. I think along the line, we have seen how industry are shaping from using the, I don't know, like NPS, CSAT, even like the customer experience course and anything. So I think now we are at the stage when we are seeing how tech and digital have developed more things for us. So we come to the discussions around the omni-channel itself, right? So this is where the key parts on the business transformation is coming in, because then they are not really just trying to see from one set of angle, which is product or services, but they need to see from the end-to-end of the business process, business transformation. What do they need to transform, to innovate from the end-to-end business process? What they need to, again, transform and innovate from the whole end-to-end customer journey itself. Either it's about purchasing journey, for example, or it's simply about the, customer complaints and anything. We also defined it, or operations kind of like process. We always define it into like the end-to-end journey itself, right? That's how I think, brands and in industries are moving on.
Yeah, I just had today an experience with a company that I wrote an inquiry on LinkedIn, and instead of answering it, they sent me their email on LinkedIn. You know, and they are like, send another inquiry on LinkedIn, on your email. And I responded, here's my email, send me an email back, right? I mean, it's omni-channel, right? I mean, if you, of course, the LinkedIn person in this company is not talking with the email person in this company, and we both know that, right? That they, what you call integrated processes, right? And the LinkedIn person is not in charge to give my contact to the email person of this company, or marketing to sales. I don't know how you call that, right? But it still happens, right? I mean, omni-channel, one touch, right? I gave them a perfect inquiry because we want to run trainings again. It was like a training center, right? A very posh one in Vietnam. I gave them a perfect thing and said, hey, I need a room for 20, 30 people, this and this date. And they write back, please send us an email. And I'm like, ouch, right? So I'm thinking now, should I really book a room with them, or should I try to get them as a client, right? Or both. But I know that's not how you get clients. But it's good. It's a good example, right? That you say the end-to-end. Is the customer really valued on all the channels? Do the handovers work, right? I think these are all the processes, right? We want to fix end-to-end, right? That wherever you come as a customer, you get the same kind of information, you get the same kind of fast response time, whatever you need, right? Yeah.
If we have to see this, right? I mean, like omnipresent. This is like the key substantial wordings that we always mention. But being omnipresent is not as easy as you mentioned that one word, really. It carries you the whole chains of process behind the scenes. So that's why we are focusing more on not only how we would like to do the transformation itself, right? But you need to understand whether why you need to transform, definitely, and to what extent this will benefit your customers or your targeted users and everything. So there's a lot of discussions behind the scene to make sure that they are not experiencing the same as you experience, right?
Yeah. When I was head of CS in Lazada, I mean, a company like Lazada was solving omni-channel by throwing much more agents on each channel, right? And hiring much more outsourced agents. And of course, you can end up with 500-600 agents, one for 50 for Facebook, 200 for calls, 50 for email. But the trick is not, and it's good because then you get a fast response as a customer. But a trick is also that in the back end, all the information comes together. And that's what a lot of companies miss, right? I mean, throwing manpower on channels to be faster is costly, but it's possible. But you really need a great CRM, back-end, CS, whatever you call the system, to get all the data under one umbrella, and that all of these 400-500 people see the same data, right?
It's a challenge to discuss that, because customer experience is part of the that key trajectories when we discuss of this, like digital technologies and everything, right? One key of the element from the digital technology is customer experience, and the other angle is data driven, right? I mean, so the question is, I mean, how much effort that you can put into like understanding the whole set of data that is coming to you, like from the day-to-day interactions, from the touch points that we always say, either you really need to translate those touch points on a daily basis, or you would like to evaluate that based on the seasonal kind of like business experiences that you are having. For example, in a retail store, probably you have the seasonal kind of like retail kind of like peak moments and everything. So it really depends on the whole sets of discussions that we need to I mean, review first before we come to the strategy and implementations, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The second part of our talk, let's talk a little bit about the CXPA. So a lot of people who don't know, the CXPA is the Customer Experience Professional Association, originated from the US, which is like the biggest, probably most famous umbrella organization for customer experience professionals in the world. And it's also the issuer of a certification, which is called CCXP, Customer Experience Professional, certificate. So then that's how we got in touch with the CXPA, because we did the certificate, right, which is tough, but it's doable. But I think it's very challenging. And even in my case, I already worked 5-6 years in CX. I learned a lot by doing this, so I can fully recommend the certification. What would you like to introduce, Kartina?
Okay, I think CXPA probably is not really well known in Asia yet. And so this is the reason why we would like to focus more on, I mean, in Asia. And this is also the reason why in every chance that we have, we would like to discuss what exactly this means for you. So definitely what CXPA is all about is the exchange thoughts and ideas from the like-minded people in the customer experience industry, where you can take benefits from that, and you can also excel some of your kind of like past experiences perhaps into the current practice that you think I mean, it's needed for your organizations, based on the series of activities that we have done in the CXPA. But definitely for Asia, our purpose is to grow the CX community. So we would like you all to join us actually here. So together we can build more a proper set of community of customer experience professionals, and to make sure that customer experience in all industries, in all countries in Asia, I mean, is something that people will look into when they discuss every single items, whether it's a digital or non-digital, tech or non-tech kind of like related business needs. That's from my point of view. And I think I would like also to add, right, just few days, just very recent, I think we've seen a good customer experience kind of like story that was implemented by one of the key airlines, I mean, in the world, which is the case study from them that I'm also like to highlight here. That definitely when you look into the customer experience and this importance of why we are together, why we are sitting in organizations, why we need to exchange ideas with others, it's definitely because we are seeing a lot of differences and a lot of needs as well in the industry, that people then now more towards understanding actually that CX is not simply about digital and technology. So CX is also about delivering what people expect you to deliver and overachieve them, making sure that they are getting what they really would like to get from you. So the story was about that this airline, I mean, declined the request to shift the passengers to a different flight, to a different airport, because they realize the impact of the shift is really on the customer experience. So that's how customer experience is not only about technology.
Okay, and how did the customer react, or how did they react?
I think the reason why this airline declined is simply because they know precisely that the impact of this, the changes will suffer the customers. That's the reason why they declined the request from the airport to shift the passengers, to decline the passengers, to take on the flights and shift them into a different flight, a different kind of like airport, because they know their airline is part of the key hubs. So they're not stopping there in the hubs, but they are continuing the flights, for example, to Vietnam, to my country as well, Indonesia, or to some other places far more than the hub itself. So I mean, like it's good to know that this is all about operations. This is all about experience. So this is all a proven context that customer experience is not simply about omni-channel and omnipresence, but it's also meant to be like a simple Carsten's kind of like experience. Just answer me directly with a very simple and approachable manner, right?
Yes, sure. Okay, that's great. That's great. So we covered the transformation part of CX, the process and IT part, which should be customer related, right? We also introduced the CXPA, and thank you so much for the example. So great to have you on the show, and hope to see you soon in live again somewhere in Southeast Asia. Thank you, Kartina.
Thank you, Carsten.